Hello, and welcome to Dickinson's Real Deal. As always, I suspect there's going to be a few surprises today. That has belonged to a seafarer. But has it belonged to Captain Kidd? That's what we gotta say. Well, maybe. I've seen a few faces here that are going to give our dealers a run for their money.
Any more?
I knew you were going to say that.
This is what people generally do.
There are times when I need to step in and sort things out.
Right.
I'm going to get my large stick when I come back and rap his knuckles. I'm going to have a word with these dealers. There's a great crowd of people here. Are they going to walk away with cash? Are they going to gamble and come with me to the auction? I don't know. One thing I do know for sure is we all want the real deal.
We're in the seaside town of Morecambe in Lancashire. There's nothing like a bit of glamour to start the day.
Hi, I'm Cheryl.
So let's head to Cheryl Halkney's table, where Lynn has brought her a beautiful inkwell. But she has a secret she wants to share with you at home.
I'm not going to tell Cheryl this. I don't actually like the item I've brought, but I'm going to put a damn good fight up for as much as I can get.
I really, really like this. It's different, it's unusual, and a bit gimmicky.
This could be a match made in heaven.
Now, this is possibly the biggest inkwell I've ever seen. How did you come to own this?
My mother-in-law gave it to my husband as a present.
How long ago?
About 20 years.
Okay. So why are you thinking of
Something
selling
we use
it?
anymore.
I can imagine that. There's a large desk and a large pen.
Yeah.
This, although quite dirty looking, this is
Yeah.
actually silver, the top. And can you see the silver mark there? And it's English and it's stamped for 1906 and it's a London mark. Incredibly, you've still got the little pot inside. Normally those go missing and a tiny little chip there, but that's nothing at all. The appeal of this is its size. It's, it's something that you would have seen on a gentleman's desk or somebody of importance.
Yeah.
The glass, it's really heavy. I'm just going to tilt it upside down and you can see this hobnail on here underneath. All this is really lovely, like a cut glass. It's almost quite sharp. It would have probably scratched a lovely wooden desk terribly. Yeah. But it's a really nice thing. And what are you going to do with the money if I did buy it today?
Well, it's my husband's big birthday next year, so we're off to Malaysia and travelling on a cruise. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go. How about 20? 40? 60 pounds?
No.
No?
No.
80? No. 100?
Getting there, but not there yet.
Getting there, but not yet. Okay. How about 120?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Well,
Here's
just
David.
before you say anything, the independent valuers are saying 70 to 100, 80 to 120. In my opinion, it's 150, 160. It's budge, it's tough, it's for a man, a real man. And so, wants a bit of work on it, but it is a honey, it really is. So, worth a little bit more.
So you're going to want a little bit more,
Little bit
Lynn.
more, please.
So, well, I think this is a lot more. That's way over what everybody else said.
We round it up to 150.
Would you shake my hand?
I would.
There's another 10, £150 in cash.
Thank you.
We've got a deal. Thank you very much for bringing it and enjoy your holiday.
Thank you very much. Well, I put up a good fight like I said I would, and I'm very happy with the money.
I wanted that inkwell, I was having it and I got it. But she made me pay a bit more than I actually wanted to, but great deal.
A perfect start to the day. Not one, but two happy ladies. Let's cross the den to Cheryl's dad, David Halkney. Will Lynn be able to carve herself a deal? Well, why don't you tell us what it is first?
I brought along a Japanese wooden water carrier and I'm hoping for around £150. and I'm really hoping that David likes it because I'm not too keen on it.
Oriental, which is flavour of the month. So I'm keen to buy it.
Looks like another good match.
Well, you brought something rather interesting looking item here. Tell me something about it.
It was passed down from Auntie about 15 years ago, somewhere around there.
Oh, so it's been in the family?
It has, yes.
Yeah.
We've never had it on display, but it's been with us for quite a while. I think it's just time now that he left our company.
Well, I think it's a very, very nice piece of Oriental carving, this. It's what they call a root carving, hardwood, and it's carved out of one piece of wood. Quite amazing, isn't it?
It is.
And it's probably one of the immortals, and he's carrying the gourds on the back, water holders and food holders on the back.
Yeah.
And it's in fantastic condition.
Thank
when
you.
You think all these little bits and pieces that could be broken off.
Yeah, there is just a little piece there that's...
I see that's loose, that piece, but
yeah.
Still, I'd call it in excellent condition. It's a great colour, very nicely carved, little ivory teeth, ivory eyes.
Yes.
Probably made around about 1890, 1900.
Really?
It's better than the average one you see these days. Often they're very dark, very black.
Right.
Not so attractive. So you brought something
You like
here.
his eyes and his teeth, do
Yeah,
you?
well, they're often missing. They're often sort of
Right.
dropped
Are
out.
they? Yeah.
Like most people's
dear.
teeth drop out. But they're all complete, so I better get some dosh out and see if I can tempt you.
Well, that's the name of the game, isn't it?
Yeah. So what about £50?
I certainly think it's worth more than £50.
Do you?
And the age, yeah.
I certainly would like to...
Considering a few things that you've just mentioned.
I've built it up too much now. £100 then?
Yes.
£100 on the table. Not a bad offer. I've got two estimations for you, 80 to 120, and then we've got a 1 to 150. I think that's more realistic, but I still think it's a little bit low because of the quality of the carving. It surely is worth the top estimate of 150 quid.
There we are.
Right.
Then. No chance of you taking my 100 then, is there?
Doubtful.
What about 110?
10. Yeah. Any more?
I knew you were going to say that.
This is what people generally do.
120, and that's sort of giving you 150 if you had to go to auction.
Do I want a day out or do I want to finish the deal today?
You might only get £80.
Might do, mightn't I? Yeah, it gives me food for thought. Could you manage another 10 perhaps?
I'm not going to miss it for a tenner, is that? We got a deal there?
Oh, I have, yes.
£130.
Thank
Good.
you very much.
Thank you, Lynn,
Thank
for bringing
you.
it in.
You're welcome. David was a real gentleman, yes. As large in life as he is on TV.
Someone's got an admirer. Is there more flirting in the den? Because coming up...
Do you want me to tempt you?
If you tempt me, I'll tell you an answer.
I can see a twinkle in your eye, Susan. It's reflecting off the candlestick.
Hook her up. We'll be spreading the love after the break.
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal.
Let's cross the den to Alison Chapman's table, where Scott is up next.
Today I brought in a sign from round about the 1950s era, and I'm looking for somewhere between the 70 to 100 mark.
Wonderful enamel sign, very kitsch. I really like it. And I'm hoping to buy it around about the £40 mark.
Best of luck, Scott.
And this is your poster?
It's my father's.
Lovely. This would have been mounted on a wall. It's tin and it's been enamelled. But I really like it.
It is, it's very
Isn't it?
quirky.
So we've got fiction and furnishing,
Yeah.
knitting and cookery, fashion and beauty, home ideas and book reviews, something, in my opinion, that every man should know about.
Right.
Do you know about your cookery?
I do, I work in a hotel.
Oh, well, you would know. Oh, and you'll work hard.
Yes.
So, My Home, the magazine for the woman who loves her home.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that was before women had to go off to work, wasn't
Yes.
it? Well, in my opinion, it is definitely 40s, 50s.
I think even though it is starting to see a bit pitted and probably seen better times, it brings out a little bit of, I don't know what the word is, a little bit of spirit behind it. It's really nice. It's something you'd hang in the kitchen, front room. I love it.
Well, why are you selling it then?
It was my dad. He wants to give me daughter a little bit of money towards, well, later on in life. She's only 9 months old, so...
Okay, Scott, money on the table time.
Right.
So I assume he said, don't let it go for 20 quid.
No, not at all.
Did he say, don't let it go for 40 quid?
He said a bit more than that, actually.
But not a lot more.
It depends on what you mean by a lot more.
50 quid?
No, higher than 50.
I'm going to pitch my price at the moment at 50.
Right.
And I'd be very interested to hear what David has to say.
Yes, I will too, actually.
Would you?
Yes.
We're demanding for David.
Yes, we are.
Well, let me tell you what the independent valuers say. They say 100 to 150. Though I do know there is a reserve of about £70 that you are prepared to accept. I think that's a bit on the low side. You could gamble and go to auction, but at the same time, I believe the 100 to 150, I think is highly speculative. I'm not so sure it's worth that, but it's maybe worth a try, unless Alison wants to add more and tempt you. I've now revealed you do have a reserve around about 70, so you are perhaps prepared to let it go at a lesser sum.
Well, I don't know, Scott.
Tricky one.
Do you want me to tempt you?
If you tempt me, I'll tell you an answer.
60.
I really can't accept 60, I'm afraid.
But you would 70.
I may accept 70, I'd have to think about it a bit harder.
70. Think about it a bit harder.
The value on it is 100 to 150, which that's a nice chunk towards something, towards my daughter. He's probably going to shoot me, but I might have to take it to auction. You just risk it.
All right.
Sorry about that.
No deal, but
Thank you.
good luck.
Scott, what were you thinking?
£70 was... It was my reserve price, but I wanted a little bit more.
I offered Scott nearly double what I originally wanted to pay for it, but he wasn't going to take the money. I'll be surprised if he gets his 100 to 150 mark.
If anyone should know, it's auctioneer David Brooks.
I think it would look great in a real retro or period style kitchen. I think it should fetch 70 to 100 at auction, easy.
Well, some mixed opinions there. Is Scott pushing his luck? It's in the lap of the gods now, so let's find out what the bidders think.
Alison Chapman on the day offered you 70 quid. That was not a bad offer. £70 is the reserve. What do you think?
Fingers crossed it goes. I hope it does.
It's an unknown quantity, this. I'm not so sure.
135 we come to now, which is the advertisement board for my home, looking for £70. What a good lot there for 70.
Wow.
And it's just £70 for the advertising board. No
No,
interest.
they're not going for it. OK, pass didn't sell. So what are you going to do with this sign now? Back home with it?
Back on the wall.
Back on the wall.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things, back on the wall. Perhaps it should go to a sale where they're selling a lot of ladies' apparel of some kind, and then maybe it would have sold. On the day, the real deal was with Alison Chapman at £70.
Let's head back to the den, where Susanna's brought in a couple of dwarf candlesticks. And we all know that Tim likes his silver.
Can you tell me a little bit about how you got them?
I've had them for quite a while. I inherited them.
Very nice.
So I've come to see what they're, what they're worth.
What they're worth.
Yeah.
Do you like them, Susan?
I think they're very pretty, yeah.
Now, you could have polished them a little bit better to bring them on here today, couldn't you?
Yeah.
You know, you should be able to do your makeup in that, Susan.
Yeah, well, they don't look too bad.
No, it's just that
Yeah.
there. I'm only teasing you. They're called dwarf candlesticks, so they might have come from a dressing table set. And these candlesticks were made by a company called WS. I'm not familiar with them, but they were made in Edinburgh. And the date will be 1906.
Yeah.
So they're Edwardian. The nice thing is with Edwardian silver, it's a lot plainer and simpler than Victorian silver, because when Edward VII became king, he wanted to do away with all that darkness of his mother and all that mourning and what have you, and he wanted to lift things up. And that obviously went into the fashion of silver, clothing, decoration. And so Edwardian stuff is always very elegant and more simple, like these candlesticks.
Yeah.
So why are you selling them, Susan?
I'm not that keen on candles.
£50, £100.
That's quite good.
I think it's marvellous.
It's been a long time since I've seen a 50. I don't think I've ever had one.
Well, you've got two there, Susan.
Yeah.
Now, Susan, I've been watching from the sidelines. I quite like your candlesticks. Now, our independent value as an auctioneer, I think they've been a little bit on the low side. Between 60 up to £100, Tim has gone straight in at £100. Now, that tells you something, because Tim is as canny as they come. Now, he must really like them. I'm going to leave it with you. Tim, try your best, mate.
Try. Right, Susan. £120. I can see a twinkle in your eye, Susan. It's reflecting off the candlestick.
You could try a bit more.
We're well over estimate here now, you know.
I think they are sellable, so...
£140.
I was hoping to walk away with 150 because I think they're desirable. Would you be willing to go for that?
Do you want me to tell you in a word, Susan? No.
145. Then you got a deal.
You have pushed me to the limit. But just for the sheer audacity of it, I've got to say 145. But you've got to shake my hand now. Is that a deal? Thank you. She rang me like a dishcloth, and she rang £145 out of me. Poor Timmy.
You'll be all right, Tim. Coming up, will David cave in under the peer pressure?
Are you going to lose it for a tenner? If it was me, I'd be having that off the table like that. That could
Come on, David.
Another be worth the money, David. Oh, put 170.
Find out what's got the Duke so aerated after the break. Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal. We're in the hometown of world-famous comedian Eric Morecambe. His stage name comes from this very place in Lancashire. But will David Haytner be able to bring Sarah some sunshine for her unusual item?
I brought along a little porcelain figure from Shipwreck.
Crikey, you don't come across stuff like this every day, do you, David?
How many were brought up from the bottom of the sea, I don't really know, but it could make a lot of difference to the price.
Hoping for around £200, but I don't know whether he'll be happy to part with that amount, so I'm not sure. I'll have to see.
Well, you brought a little boy in here.
Yes, yes.
Tell me something about it.
Well, he's actually from a shipwreck, the Texing, which took place in 1822. It was a cargo ship en route to Jakarta, hit a reef and went down about 100 foot of water. Yes. And this little seated boy is one of the pieces on board.
Yeah, so obviously there was a lot of porcelain brought up from this ship, was
yes, all sorts of
when was that
figurines. I believe it was just prior to 2000. It's my husband's uncle who actually gave it to him. But we don't really appreciate it as we maybe should. It's just gathering dust, so maybe time to get it a new home.
Let's have a look, Sarah. Oh, well, this is much more interesting when you look at the back, because it's got the little sale stickers on here. Texing Treasures, yeah. So that was the name of the ship, was it?
Texing. I think it means true star, I think, in English.
Oh, right, yeah. Interesting, isn't it? Never seen one before.
Right?
Never bought one before. Was there hundreds of these brought up or just a few?
I'm not sure. But you've never seen one before, so
I haven't, Sarah.
there can't be that many about.
Well, I'll get some money out and try and buy it from you, shall I?
Okay, sounds good.
Well, let's say £50, that's a nice round figure.
No, it needs to be higher than that.
Do you know what
David.
this cost at auction?
I know what they can go for, yes,
Do
it's
you?
more than that.
£70, I don't know whether it's a lot or not enough, to be
I'd
honest.
be looking for a bit more, David.
Thank goodness I've got here in time. Don't even consider £70.
Right.
Nowhere near. £200 to £300 is the general estimation from all my people, and they may be on the conservative side. I think that's nowhere near in the marketplace.
Right.
I'm going to get my large stick when I come back and wrap his knuckles, even though they are jewel encrusted. So I'm going to get out of the way now.
Okay.
I think we've got a chance at auction with that.
Okay.
Well, Sarah, this was an opening bid. I'll tell you what I will give you, just in case. 100, 150, £170, and that's what I'll offer.
Okay.
But you can go to auction.
Could you go to 180?
I don't think I will. I'm having a bit of a gamble here.
Has he suddenly come to the ballpark? Now, why didn't he do that before? Put £170. I'm going to have a word with these dealers. OK. Are you going to lose it for a tenner?
I think I am.
Ooh, I think if it was me, I'd be having that off the table like that for another tenner. That could,
Persuasive, isn't it?
that
Another
could be worth the
£10.
money, David. I still think our dealer's on a good thing.
Right.
So I'm leaving it with you now.
Thank you.
You can still change your mind and go to auction.
Depends on your luck on the day. I think I'm happy to deal with
Are you?
that. Yes.
And if I can't sell it, it won't take too much room at home, will it?
No, no.
Have a
I'm
deal?
happy with that.
Good.
We've got a deal.
I think
Thank
you had a good
David.
deal as well.
I think it's quite lucky to get David up to 180. He's quite a tough cookie, but he played fair.
Well, it was a total gamble, this lot. I shall let you know whether I've earned 50 quid or lost £50.
Sounds like someone's got some homework to do then. Andy is next to sit down with Cheryl, and he's prepared to lock horns with her if he has to.
I think I'll have to battle fairly hard for the £300 that I want, but I'm ready to put up a fight.
I'm not going to put down hundreds and hundreds of pounds for these. They're not the rarest thing.
Let battle commence.
So you've got a collection of, I say Beswick, some people say Beswick. What do you say?
I call it Beswick as well.
Yeah.
W silent.
It's scone and scone, isn't it? It's
Absolutely,
one of those things.
yeah.
So tell me about, is it your collection?
No, it was my dad's. My dad died 5 years ago, and Mum kept it, and then she passed away in January. So I've kept what I wanted to keep, and these are, if you like, surplus.
So do you know anything about these particular ones?
Well, I know a few years ago they were worth quite a chunk of money. I know the Frisian is, the black and white one is more popular. I think that, I believe, was fairly well mass produced. I believe the short horn is the rarer of the ones are here. I know people collect it and some people can't stand it.
Absolutely, you're
Like
absolutely
anything.
right. What's nice about your collection is they're totally original. One of them here, he's just had his horn stuck back on there. Yeah, can you just, if you just run your finger there, can you just see? You can just feel where that's been glued back on, that one.
Right.
And if we just pick that one up, we've got the original sticker here, which is nice because usually people would have peeled those off, you know, as soon as they got them. Oh, pull the sticker off and put them out on display. But a nice collection, mainly produced during the 1960s, the 1970s, and these were very expensive to buy when they were new. You know, they're very nicely modelled and made. I'll put some cash down.
Okay.
See what you think.
Okay.
What would you do with the money if you did sell it?
Well, we
today?
got married 5 weeks ago, so it's going towards a partial honeymoon.
Congratulations.
So,
Well, I shall try my best for you.
That's what I like to hear.
Okay, 50, 100.
Yeah.
No? 150.
No, that's not tempting me. I'm not going to get much of a honeymoon on 150 quid.
No. 170.
No.
We'll tempt you a bit more, see if we can get you further south of Morecambe. 190. In cash for you?
Put us another tenner on Cheryl and I'll take her to a spa hotel.
Oh, you're a charmer. No wonder she married you. Go on, Andy, we've got a deal.
We've got a deal, yeah.
Make sure you look after her and
I
get
will do,
champagne in.
It was 100 quid less than Andy originally wanted, but he seems happy enough.
Go on, Andy.
Coming up, Alison is like a stuck record.
No.
Please.
No,
Pretty
I'm
please.
sorry.
20.
No,
Just
I'm
20.
sorry.
Just
I'm
20.
sorry.
Just
No.
20.
Can Jane get her to change her tune? And what's washed up in the den?
I mean, all you're short of is the Paris on your shoulder, you know. You could be one yourself.
And the patch on the eye, maybe, sir. Aye.
Find out what treasures have arrived after the break. Jane has popped into the den with a couple of mid-20th century oil paintings for Alison. And she's a woman who knows exactly what she wants.
The minimum that I'd like to receive for them is £110.
I would want to pay more than about £100 for them. But I've said that in the past and paid more for stuff. We'll just have to find out.
I think probably I'm going to play the sentimentality card.
Let's see if your ploy will work, Jane.
They're very different, aren't they?
They are very different, yes.
But by the same artist?
By the same artist, yes.
So what can you tell me about them?
They were bought by my parents. They lived in the same village as the artist, just outside Glasgow, and they bought them for their lounge. However, they then moved, they bought a pub in Ayrshire, and I've had them ever since.
And you took them because you liked them?
Yes, I absolutely love them, but nobody wants them.
So what is it about the paintings that you're enjoying?
I think you can see so much in them. I mean, you can sit and look at this big one and just imagine who lived in these houses and what did they do. And this one, this would be lovely to go on a nice summer's day and have a picnic.
I imagine little fairies and
Yes,
pixies.
yes, yes,
Perhaps resting and living in here.
Yes,
I can
I
imagine
see
the
that.
moss.
Yes,
And I can feel the dampness.
And the water trickling.
And the water trickling. And that is why people buy art. Before I came and sat down at the table, I did what research I could on the internet. And there is a Robert Sinclair Thompson.
Yes, yes.
And you said that your parents brought these just outside Glasgow.
That's right, yes.
He actually taught at Glasgow School of Art.
Did he really? Yes.
This one, I believe, is a mixture of oil and acrylic.
Right, yeah.
This one, I think, is probably oil, but it's been heavily varnished. So, money on the table. So, 50. 100.
No, it's not enough.
Not enough.
Not nearly enough, no.
Based on what?
The fact that I like them and the fact that they belong to my parents. So I would want to put that money towards something that I would like and that I know that my mother and father would like as well.
But what you're talking about there, Jane, is sentiment.
Yes, yes.
And I know to an antique dealer it can be very expensive sentiment. But that isn't necessarily about what the items are worth.
Go on.
I know.
Go on.
I know you'd love me to. I can see myself enjoying these paintings in my shop for a long time.
Well, 100 to 150 pounds is the estimate. I think what's on the table is a realistic offer.
Okay.
If you went to the sale room and got 150, we'd probably be taking about £20, £22 off you anyway. But you never know, they might not quite make 150. It's down to you to make the choice.
Yes.
I'm going to say not about off £100.
Thank you.
Well,
Right.
what would you like to do,
Well,
Jane?
the £100 is for this one. How about another 20 for this one, along with the sentimentality value?
No.
Please.
No,
Pretty
I'm sorry.
please. 20.
No,
Just
I'm
20.
sorry.
Just
I'm
20.
sorry.
Just
No.
20.
£100 is my offer, and I am not budging from it.
I'll take the £100.
We've got a deal. Thank you very
Thank
much,
you very
Jane.
much. Thank you.
She was a bargain driver, that girl.
Alison wasn't going to budge because I don't think she's a very sentimental person, so I tried my hardest. I'm quite happy.
Once Alison has made her mind up, no one can change it. Back in the den, a strange collection of objects has arrived on Tim's table. Ray, tell us what you've brought in.
A blunderbuss with connections to Captain Kidd.
Blimey, that's the pirate that was hanged in London in 1701. This could be worth a small fortune. Not surprisingly, the Duke and auctioneer David Brooks are eavesdropping.
We're always fascinated by long-lost buried treasure, aren't we?
Now we've got a little bit of a mystery here, haven't we?
A little, yes.
We have got an 18th century blunderbuss.
Yes.
And the little pouch there, which looks to me to be shagreen, which is the skin of a stingray.
Is it now, right?
It is, yeah. But this blunderbuss is purportedly belonging to Captain Kidd.
Yes.
It's a very dubious provenance, isn't it?
I wasn't there, so I couldn't possibly comment.
It's a letter from a man called Hubert Palmer.
Yes.
Now, he was a solicitor, wasn't he, in the 20s, who said that he'd discovered Captain Kidd's charts in a piece of furniture.
Yes.
And he was trying to sell them, wasn't he?
Yes.
It was a little bit of, what's the word? Maybe a fraud at the time?
Hoax.
A hoax. That's the word, Ray. So this blunderbuss has come from his collection. So just tell me, how did you come across this then, Ray?
Well, I got it off my auntie. They had it from 1950. I got it 15 years ago.
And did she believe it to be Captain Kidd's, or was she a little bit dubious about that?
I really don't know. I think she'd probably forgotten.
Well, there's only one obvious thing here to say, David. Aha, Jim lad, because we're falling into pirate treasure, pirate folklore, but what have we really got here? The blunderbuss tends to look later in the 18th century, so
It does have that
I
look,
don't think
yeah.
that's associated with him. Though the purse, which looks like a mariner's purse, looks as it might be from the period.
Or even earlier.
Or even earlier.
Yeah. I mean, all you're short of is the Paris on your shoulder, you know, and you could be one yourself.
And the patch on the eye, maybe, sir. Aye. Okay. Where have you placed your estimate on these items that are here?
We've placed them at sort of 300 to 400, you know, relying very much on the storyline behind it.
Okay. Is Tim going to go for this? I think he will.
So, for your 18th century blunderbuss,
Yes.
50, 100, 150, £200.
£200.
Well, it's a reasonable start, isn't it?
It's not a bad offer. I'm going to go in there and say, not a bad offer, but it's probably worth a little bit more.
I have to say I know nothing about guns.
No.
Well, I know something about pirates, I do. What we have here is a very glamorous wall piece with an interesting story that goes to it. What actually fascinated me was that. That has belonged to a seafarer. But has it belonged to Captain Kidd? That's what we gotta say. Well, maybe. They are saying the independent value is about £300 to £400.
Right.
A bit on the low side, probably worth a little bit more.
Thank you.
Right. I'm going to put another £50 in rare, but I think that's going to be it for me, I have to say.
I think, Tim, I would quite like to take it to auction and see what Joe Public thinks about it.
See what Joe Public thinks. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank
Good
you.
luck. Fantastic history behind this item. Can it be proved? I don't know.
It might all be true. You never know, do you?
Will he hit treasure in the auction room? I think that he might just do so.
Let's head over to the auction house and find out if the bidders think this story is ship-shape and Bristol fashion or just a yarn.
The reserve is £300. Is it going to make £300? Well, I believe it will only make £300 if you believe this tale of the infamous Captain William Kidd. Let's see what happens. Aha, Giblad, are there any pirate people here looking for pieces of eight? Let's find out. They're coming up now.
We come now to lot 60, which is the blunderbuss with the reputed connection to Captain Kidd. Start me £200 anywhere. 200, 220, 240, 260, 280, 300, 320.
Are they going for the tale of Captain Kidd? Maybe.
400, 420, 440, 460, 500, 550, 600, 650, 650 to my right. It's 650 to my right now. Have we finished? 650 in the room now and selling.
Well, worth a gamble. It's taken me by surprise. 650. There's a fair chunk of commission to be taken off there. £533 to go home. What do you think?
Brilliant. Delighted.
Real deal, Jim lad, real deal.
Aye, aye, David. Ray's more than double the money that Tim offered him. But can any of our dealers match that?
Thank you, then.
Thank
you.
It certainly wasn't the Japanese water carrier that David bought for £130. He sold it on through the Oriental trade for 150 quid. And remember the porcelain boy that David wasn't sure about?
I shall let you know whether I've earned 50 quid or lost £50.
He did neither, as it's taken pride of place on the mantelpiece. Tim didn't do much better with the dwarf candlesticks. Susan pushed him really hard.
I was hoping to walk away with 150.
Do you want me to tell you in a word, Susan? No.
She had to settle for £145. And much like their size, Tim's profit was small too. It was a similar story with the two oil paintings. Alison paid £100 and was fairly sure she could shift them.
Whether I do it in this lifetime, we'll have to find out.
Much to her surprise, it didn't take her long. Cheryl's end result isn't much to write home about either. First, there was the inkwell that she had to have.
I like this. I really, really like this.
And so did the Duke.
It's Butch, it's tough, it's for a man, a real man.
But that didn't make any difference to her profit margin, as it cost her £150 plus a £10 repair bill. She earned herself a little more with the Beswick cows that she paid £200 for. She sold them on to a private collector for £240. Not an especially good result, was it, mateys? We all know who came off best today, don't we?
Aha! Did they believe that it was Captain Kidd? Maybe. Don't forget to join me, David Dickinson, next time for Dickinson's Real Deal. See you.